this question here, question number 9, November 2015, Brilliant 3, paper 4. I've got to part F, and that's what I've been asked to answer, part F, so I'll start with part F. Now, they're telling us to simplify the composite function h inverse of hx. Now, they didn't give you much space to do the question, okay? And something that you should know is basically when you have a function composite with its inverse, they basically cancel each other out. Okay, so whatever you've got in the bracket is going to be your answer. Okay, now for you right now, you do not know how to find the inverse of this function. Okay, if you do y equals 2 to the power of x, and then you switch them around and you make x equals 2 to the power of y, and then you try to find the inverse of that function, you don't know how to make y the subject with the knowledge that you have in IGCSE. Use something called logarithms, which comes later in AS. But having an understanding that when you have a function composite with its inverse, that you get whatever's in the bracket, basically they cancel each other out, you can just write down whatever's in the bracket. So sometimes you get a question, for example, let's say something like this. The answer is just going to be 8. Okay, it's just cancelling each other out. Okay? So, of course, that's not part of the question. The answer is just x. Then it says, which of the following statements is true? Okay, now, the inverse of function f, okay, is it the same as the inverse of, is it the same as original function? Well, let's see. It doesn't look like it is, but just if you want to make sure, fx is equal to 2x minus 1. If you want to find the inverse of fx, you're going to have y equals 2x minus 1, and you're going to make the y into an x and x into the y, and then rearrange it to make y the subject. X plus 1 is equal to 2y, so y is equal to x plus 1 over 2. So that will be the inverse. The inverse of function f is going to be x plus 1 over 2, which is not the same as the original. For g, we can see that actually it's going to be true, because y equals 1 over x. If you swap them around, x becomes 1 over y. And if you make y the subject, y is 1 over x. So we can see that for this it's true. The inverse and the original function are the same. Okay? So you can say that the answer is the inverse of g is the same as g. And of course, for h, the inverse is not so that's part g, and part h says use two of the functions to find the composite function, which is equal to 2x plus 1 minus 1. And let me just do something here. Oops. Do that. Let me take this. Well, I have to do this. Copy. Paste it over here so we can see the question. You can see what I'm using. So it says use two of the functions f, g, and hx. So you've got to use 2 out of the 3 of them to make sure, or to show which will give you this as a composite. Okay? So now, I can see I've got something to the power of x plus 1 minus 1. Now, of course, the only one which has a minus 1 at the end is f of x. So it's going to be f of x as the function that something has been put into. Okay, so something's been put into function f of x. All right, so we've got to figure out which one of it. Is it h or is it g? Of course, you can see here x is in the power. Okay, x is in the power. So if we put h of x into the function f of x, okay, what will we get? That's the only one that's going to work. Let's see what we get. We're going to have to replace the x in function f by 2 to the power of x. So you're going to have 2 times 2 to the power of x, and then you're going to have minus 1. Now, you're thinking, how is that the same as this? Well, if you use your knowledge of the indices, this is the same as 2 to the power of 1 times 2 to the power of x minus 1. And if you have two numbers with the same base, okay, and you want to combine them, you add the powers. So this is 2 to the power of x plus 1 minus 1. So you see it gives us what we need. So it's f h x is, okay, the composite function, which is equal to that. Okay? So in this type of question, you just have to look to see the way that the form of the answer here. You're going to have a minus 1 at the end. The only way you're going to have a minus 1 at the end is if you use f of x as the function that things are being put into. Okay, and g of x is 1 over x. There's not really any powers of 2 or any power. H of x is the only thing that will work. And then you can then sort it out from there and you'll see that it works. Okay, so you have to just use your knowledge of indices to finish it up.